Here we go, guys. Formula One's unflushable himself, Bernie Ecclestone, has been in the media. Sorry, I've always wanted to say that in public because I really believe he is. He has resurfaced when you just thought he was going to flush away and down the drain pipe, but no. Here he is again, coming out with some quotes in the media. As you can tell, I'm not a big fan of Bernie, really, for a number of reasons, but interesting quote for him here on the F1 Chronicle.com. It's my job to read out this article to you guys and give my thoughts on it. Apparently, he believes that Red Bull could have avoided a penalty in Saudi Arabia, and yes, that is true. I agree with that. They could have done, but as we'll get into this video, I don't think that it's necessarily the right things for them to have avoided that penalty. I'll explain why after I read out this article here on the website, guys. As always, Red Bull has definitely decided against challenging Max Verstappen's 5-second penalty by not requesting a right of review. The team theoretically had 96 hours to decide, 4 days to the rest of us, but bosses Christian Horner and Dr. Helmut Marko and even Max Verstappen himself indicated at Jeddah that a protest was unlikely. But De Telegraaf newspaper in the Netherlands reports that, while disagreeing with the penalty for skipping the first corner incident with McLaren's Oscar Piastri, the team is officially moving on. That is despite the fact that Horner took printed evidence, yes, he printed it out, telemetry and onboard camera screenshots to his post-race sit-down with the written media on Sunday. They were working on it right away, former Red Bull driver Robert Doornbos, who was standing with Horner, Marko and Verstappen's manager Raymond van Meulen after the race, told Ziggo Sports. Horner said to someone, "Print out those papers for me because I'm going to make it difficult for them at the FIA," he reveals. Yeah, he didn't make it difficult for the FIA. Former F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone, however, thinks that the team... Former F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone, however, thinks the team only has itself to blame for the penalty, which arguably cost Verstappen the win, as he was less than 5 seconds behind Piastri at the checkered flag. It could have all been avoided, former F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone told Blick newspaper. Why didn't Max give the position back immediately? Because making up 5 seconds is usually difficult under normal conditions, the 94-year-old added. Horner explained that Verstappen was not ordered to drop behind Piastri because we didn't think Max had done anything wrong. Team advisor Marko, however, told ORF, "We discussed giving back the position, but the penalty was imposed." But in his latest column for Speed Week, the 81-year-old expands further. There wasn't much discussion about giving the position back. Fascinating, Marko. Really incredible insight there. No, I'm joking. Our strategy experts and FIA contact said they've seen several incidents in Formula 2 with no penalties, only warnings. Luke Browning did it twice and got away without a penalty. Some think the loss of sporting director Jonathan Wheatley to Audi-owned Sauber has impacted this type of decision-making. The new Sauber boss even admitted after Saudi Arabia, "I would have done something differently or advised to do it differently." Another theory is that Red Bull knows very well that Max Verstappen deserved the penalty but simply defended its driver. "I think you're a very good team boss if you always defend your driver," Doornbos confirms. "Too much has been said about it," he added. "We also saw images of the FIA president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, pointing the finger at Max after the race. I wonder which one," said Doornbos. "It's not the best look for the sport, but fortunately the championship fight is at least good." Automotor und Sport editor Michael Schmidt, I love when he appears in these articles, even thinks Verstappen made his situation worse after running off the track. "I think it played a role that he had accelerated to shake off Piastri before the DRS zone," he said. "It would have been smarter to briefly take his foot off the gas to show he wanted to make a concession, so you have to admit the penalty was justified," Schmidt added. Red Bull is now working on a significant car upgrade that Marko thinks will keep Verstappen in the title fight. "We are taking small steps and I think we have enough speed by Imola to beat McLaren," he said. "We don't think about the gap in the championship. It won't be easy, but we have recovered from a bigger gap. I still remember how with Sebastian Vettel, we were more than 40 points behind and still won the championship." That was in 2012, if I remember correctly. Could have possibly been 2010, though. I know Vettel only led the championship for the first time in his career at the final round in Abu Dhabi in 2010. But yeah, I mean, I have an alternate theory to all of those, and I've told you, and I've said it before in these videos. I think they knew full well that Verstappen was going to get a penalty, and they decided that it was going to be beneficial to actually keep the lead until the first pit stop, have the clean air, and just gap the people behind. Because at the end of the day, they knew that nobody would be able to overtake Oscar Piastri. And they also knew that Piastri probably would have actually kept that P2 and not gone for P1, thus holding everybody else back. That's just my kind of theory. They might genuinely have believed, for the reasons of F2, that they weren't going to get a penalty, but if you look at the side-by-side comparison between what happened this year and also 4 years ago in 2021, where Verstappen and Hamilton were battling each other, then I think it's pretty clear that he was going to get a penalty. I think they knew. And the thing is as well, is that according to the stewards, this normally would have been a 10-second penalty for what he did. So he got off lightly in a sense because it was turn 1, corner 1. Lap 1, I should say. Which again is standard, that's not, I'm not saying there's any favouritism or any inconsistency there, that's just the stewards what they do. That was first lap incident, they normally give leeway for this kind of stuff. I think the biggest thing though, I just reprofile that first couple corners in Saudi, it's awful. I'm sorry, but the amount of incidents we see there is terrible. There is no reason why they can't reprofile that. Just make it not so damn awkward. I don't know what they'd have to do. Just make it wider? I'm really not sure. But for me, that corner sucks. Honestly, those first 2 corners in Saudi are terrible. And this kind of incident happens all the time. I know there's some awkward corners in Formula 1 these days. I mean, every corner around Monaco is awkward because how big the cars are. The first chicane in Monza, that's always been tough. But this one has been deliberately designed this way by Herman Tilke's son. I think it was, Tilke Jr. who designed this track, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, very much following his dad's footsteps by making some questionable decisions on circuit design, but hey, there we go. They seem to like him for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not a fan of Tilke's tracks in general. Bring back Malaysia. That was the best one. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Do you think that Verstappen thought that Red Bull thought Verstappen was going to get away with it? Do you think they knew he was going to get a penalty and just made a tactical gamble? Your thoughts in the comments below. I think the biggest thing is that drivers will now take these positions and worry about penalties later because they can make those 5 seconds up a lot of the time, particularly if they're stuck in traffic and they just make a lunge. It's like 5 seconds. All right, I'll be 5 seconds up the road in 3 laps. It's all right. But yeah, that's my kind of thought on it. I don't know how you police that more other than giving bigger penalties, but then it's like 10-second, 20-second penalties for an illegal overtake. Is that fair? No, it doesn't really feel like it, to be honest. So yeah. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see some more like this, and have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world, guys. And yeah, we'll see you soon for some more F1 news here on the channel.